Pelicans squaring off Steph Curry and the Warriors. That is at the Chase Center. Coverage begins at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific with NBA Countdown. Let's stay in the association here. Despite missing stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the defending champion Lakers are keeping hope alive of trying to avoid that play-in tournament with a 2-point win over the Rockets last night. Big Perk back here with us. Hello. We'll get to him in just a second. I'll start with you here, Chris. Lakers winning without LeBron and AD. Is this something, nothing, or everything?
Molly, it's nothing. It's nothing. And here's the thing. As a Lakers fan, the most important thing to me over the course of the next 2 weeks was LeBron James and Anthony Davis's health, and then that seeding for the playoffs or trying to avoid the play-in tournament. And through yesterday's game, I was looking at it from the standpoint of being excited that those guys could take care of the Houston Rockets without LeBron or AD, just so you could keep the potential, keep that door cracked open for them to avoid the play-in. And after the first quarter of that Lakers game and after the first quarter of that Blazers-Jazz game, everything was looking good. But then the Blazers slammed the door on that. So it feels like a fait accompli that the Lakers are going to be in that play-in tournament. So now it's about the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So I get the role players being important in terms of having to come along and carry some of the weight because LeBron and AD might not be 100%. But to me, the most important thing was those guys having an opportunity to get some rest before the real playoffs are going to start. And now they're not going to have that chance.
No, it's something. What are you talking about? Not that they didn't play yesterday. They got rest yesterday. They can get, if it's a fait accompli, then they can get more rest. Look, the bottom line is LeBron and AD are going to need some help. And the silver lining, I mean, it got a little out of hand with all the injuries, but the silver lining to LeBron not playing is that, and AD not playing, was that you were going to have to get some extra dimensional play from some of these role players, right? Well, no LeBron, no Schroeder, no Caruso. You had Taylor Horton Tucker. You know why the Lakers didn't make a trade deadline deal? Because everyone wanted THT. The Lakers like, nah, we want to hang on to this kid. You saw what he did, in summer league. What, 23 with 10 dimes, running the point, right? How about Andre Drummond? 20 and 10, just like he normally does, right? No, they got play. And now, look, the Rockets it's like playing a team of backups. But okay, a guy like Montrezl Harrell is really valuable because when he's coming in against the second unit of the other team, he looks like an all-star because he's good, he can play. No, if you get this kind of extra dimensional play from guys like and by the way, Kuzma played well. From THT, Kuzma, Andre Drummond, those kind of guys, then the Lakers can come out of the West. It is something that you saw the Lakers win and also get the kind of contributions they got from the players I mentioned without LeBron or AD.
Max Kellerman, you are 100% right, okay? You are 100% right. And it's not just something, it's everything. Because for the simple fact, one, you got a chance to rest Anthony Davis. LeBron James got a chance to get another day of rest before he returned. But when we look back over the past month and a half, what have we been talking about? How the others on the Lakers have been struggling, right? And this was a game for them to get their confidence, get their swagger, get their feel for the game back, get their rhythm. And we saw that. We seen a guy like Marquise Morris who had been struggling. He was in double figures last night. We watched Kyle Kuzma in the clutch moments where he had to take big shots. He came through in the clutch, Ben McLemore. But most importantly, right, we saw Andre Drummond get his feel, 20 and 10. He had been playing awful over the last couple of weeks. You want him to feel good about himself. But Taylor Horton Tucker playing the point guard position was so key last night and so important because we don't know when Dennis Schroeder is going to come back, and we don't know how he's going to come back and what type of shape he's going to be in because of the COVID protocol. So when LeBron James do get back, now you're able to trust Taylor Horton Tucker because you're molding him into a position that he hasn't played. So with that being said, I think this win and this game was everything for the Lakers because the others were able to get better and find their rhythm.
Guys, I don't know how much Taylor Horton Tucker and all the other role players are going to factor in when it comes to LeBron and AD. finding themselves in a game where it's win or go home. And that's the scenario that they're going to be facing next week with that play-in tournament. Like, I love the Lakers role players. I love what they showed us last night against that Rockets team. But the Rockets are a JV team compared to what they're going to face next week and moving forward into the postseason. So I'm still concerned about what this Lakers team is going to have to face in terms of them being able to navigate those play-in games. I obviously think they have the talent to be able to do so, but the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis and what it's going to take from them to be able to get out of that and then get into a real series, I just felt like having more margin for error by being able to start the playoffs in an actual series versus having to deal with that play-in.
No, I think the play-in could help them,
was the thing that was ideal.
Chris, I think the play-in could help them get those juices going, get that rhythm going, be it not in a playoff atmosphere. Play-in is the postseason. Be in a postseason game or two heading into a series not against the Clippers. I think that works for them. But I want to talk about Andre Drummond for a second. Perk, you hit on THT. You know, when they picked up Drummond, I thought it was a real big move because when you looked at the Lakers roster, when you have a LeBron and an AD on the team, you probably don't have a lot of other starting caliber players. Lakers have a lot of rotation pieces, but I think Schroeder's the only guy I'd look at and say he's a starter. He's a solid starter in the league, right? Everyone else is a 6, 7, 8 type guy. Drummond is not. Drummond's a starter. But if there's an issue with him playing with AD, if there's not enough time to figure that out, and AD is, let's say, 85%, and you don't want to play him 35, 40 minutes in these playing games, well, then Andre Drummond can suck up those minutes at the 5, and he is not only a starting caliber player, he's an above-average starting 5. And now you're going to put him against maybe the second unit of teams? He is going to eat. Andre Drummond's going to eat and could be a big reason why the Lakers succeed in these playoffs. Whether he's playing side by side with AD or maybe more importantly, if he's not.
Well, look, Chris, we all know how valuable superstars and we know how valuable LeBron James and Anthony Davis are to the Los Angeles Lakers. But I do know this, okay? When you're trying to win a championship, and we witnessed this last year, role players win games for you, okay? Your superstars are going to be superstars, but we watched Caldwell Pope struggle all throughout the regular season, and he elevated his game in the postseason. You watched Kyle Kuzma elevate his game in the postseason. He struggled during the regular season. So with that being said, you got to have those guys where they have that level of confidence that when LeBron James is making plays or Anthony Davis is making plays for others, trust in the past, that they have trust that these guys are going to be able to knock down shots. These guys are going to be able to make plays like a Taylor Horton-Tucker, Andre Drummond, getting the reps that he's going to be able to finish around the basket like they need him to and protect the paint. So when you're trying to win a championship, everybody talk about the superstars, but people forget how valuable the role players are. They forget how valuable Robert Horry was to the Los Angeles Lakers, the Houston Rockets, and the Spurs. They forget how valuable Derek Fisher was, big shots that he hit in playoff runs. They forget the value of the role players. Tayshaun Prince for the Detroit Pistons. Role players help you win games in the playoffs to help you win championships.
Yeah, and those role players can do a little more than just play a role against the team's second unit. We just saw it.
Yeah, no question. All right, Lakers got 2 games left. That would be the Pacers and the Pelicans. Big Perk, we'll talk to you tomorrow, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Molly.
Carry on.
Max, stop.
Here we go. Our guys think one of the most hotly contested divisions will be the AFC